welcome back to another episode of Thread the Needle. I'm your boy Marvin, and I appreciate you for checking out this video. As always, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, turn on that bell so you know when I upload. I was looking at my numbers from the last couple of videos, and I think it was like 70% of viewers weren't subscribed, 30% were. So if you are in that 70% and you've been coming back, please make sure you are subscribed, because I know sometimes you might have got the link from IG or something, or Twitter or whatever, and it usually doesn't sign you in. Even if you try to like it, it's, you usually got to sign in. So just make sure you do that for me. Make sure you show your butt some love. It is very much appreciated. So we're gonna get right into it. Honestly, I think we just gotta start with the talk of the town so far. I mean, honestly, it's a lot to talk about in sports right now. Just outside of my expertise, which is basketball and football. With the USA baseball team losing, and I think they're good, and I think they did advance, but the fact that they almost did not advance, and it was pretty much in the hands of Italy to beat Mexico, I think is what it was. Or correct me if I got it wrong, but I think that's what it was. I think it was Italy that beat Mexico and all that stuff. But that was crazy. And honestly, March the 10th as a night was probably insane. Like, probably one of the better nights. Well, I'm not even gonna say better. One of the most entertaining nights in sports. You had, like I said, the Team USA baseball team in the WBC Classic, which is the baseball like Olympics basically, and then you had the Celtics and the Spurs playing. I'm a Celtics fan, so I was locked in for that game. Wemby had a great game. I mean, hey, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say my opinions for that game after this. But we had Bam Adebayo, Belmonte. Shout out to D Wade. Belmonte. Out of all the players in the NBA, Bam Adebayo was the player that broke Kobe's record. I mean, even though we always say Kobe's record, but Kobe technically didn't have, it's Wilt's record. Wilt was the one that got 100. I guess people say Kobe's record because we saw Kobe. It's on video at least. Some people didn't see it, but it's on video. You can go back and watch the highlights of Kobe's 81. We don't have the video footage of Wilt's 100. So people tend to say Kobe's record, but it technically was Wilt's record. But Bam became the first player since Kobe to come close to the 100. This man put up 83 points. 83 points. How many minutes did he play? 42 minutes. He put up 83 points in 42 minutes. And I could have uploaded a video the same night it happened. I could have uploaded a video the day after. I purposefully waited till today to drop the video of my opinion on it, because I wanted to sit in it, pause, and I wanted to just I wanted to go back and watch it, because I wasn't watching the game. I'm sure 95% of the NBA fans outside of Wizards and Heat fans, nobody was watching that game. Like I said, unless you're a Wizards or Heat fan. So I didn't see how it happened. I just, like everyone, I got the notification that Bam had 31 in the first, and then I'm like, oh damn, who Bam feeling like? I'm like, who he feeling like tonight? So I'm thinking he's gonna probably finish with 50. Probably gonna cool off a little bit in the second half. Then they said he had 50 at halftime. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't know what the Wizards are doing, but that's cool. Then I saw the notification that he had 70, and then it was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Is Bam actually gonna get this 80? And this was before, even when they tried to put it on during the Celtics game, I'm like, bro, chill out. I'm like, chill. I get it. But like the Celtics and Spurs game was a hype matchup because before the refs just decided that they wanted to intervene and become the star of the show by ejecting Jaylen Brown, it was supposed to be like an MVP type of matchup between Wemby and JB. And a lot of people thought that if JB would have had a great game, he could have potentially, made a lot more noise in MVP race, which, like I said, we'll get into that game a little bit later. But just to go back to the Bam point, I wanted to go back and watch for myself. And, obviously, you had the Twitter had his jokes, had his moments and everything. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't let my opinion on it get swayed by outside influences and stuff. So I went back and watched the highlights myself, and man, I said I didn't want to come on here and hate on Bam, and I'm not gonna hate on Bam, because to be honest, who if you're in Bam's shoes, who's not gonna do what Bam did, right? I think people have misplaced their frustration, and it's like they're using it to take shots at Bam, saying like Bam doesn't deserve it, which is I don't know what makes people feel like they can say that someone doesn't deserve anything. Like I am a Bam fan. Like I hope Bam becomes a Celtic one day. Like honestly, I hope that the Celtics can somehow get Bam to be their starting center one day, even though I don't think, especially after this, I don't think Miami is going to let him leave Miami. But I like his story coming into the league and all of this. Like I think he used to live in a trailer park, a trailer home or something with his mom. Or, I had to go back and refresh the story, but I remember hearing about his story, and I was a fan ever since. And I'm just like, man, how you gonna say that someone like that has overcome something like traumatic as like that? How you gonna say he doesn't deserve it, right? Just because of your personal feelings, just because you're a Kobe fan, just because, not even just if you're a Kobe fan, maybe if you're just a general basketball fan, right? I think I don't agree with people taking that personal dig at Bam, because he doesn't deserve that. Like, to try to say he doesn't deserve a record, that's like, come on, man. Like that's disrespectful if you ask me. And like I said, I think people have misplaced their anger. I think they need to take their anger out on the Washington Wizards. Ladies and gentlemen, the Washington Wizards, I don't know. Like, let me go look at who they had out there. Like, Alex Sarr had a great game. 28 points, 6 rebounds. He really did get, like, outshined by Bam's 83, which is crazy. Like, but Washington, man, that was probably one of the worst defensive performances, and I didn't even watch the game entirely. From what I saw on the highlights, that was horrible. Like, the fact that it took Bam I think they didn't send another body at Bam until he got to like 54 points. Are you serious? You waited until he got 54 points before it clicked in your head? Hold on, let's double team Bam. Let's try to force the ball out of Bam's hand, right? And then both teams started fouling late. Like, Bam, when he got to 70, those 70 points were legit. In my opinion, he legit scored 70 points, right? I think those last 13 points, and specifically the last 6 points, but really the last 13 points, it got too forced, right? And I think if you gotta force the issue like that to where the Heat were fouling, and mind you, they were up like 25 or something. They're fouling. The Wizards are fouling Bam's teammates just to try to get the ball from getting in Bam's hands. Like it really got to a point where it was a slot fest. And I think that's where a lot of people are saying that it was disrespectful to Kobe, which I disagree with. I don't think it was disrespectful to Kobe for him to try to get it. Like I said, the way that they went about doing it, especially the last 13 points, I think, hey, it could have been better. I understand why his team, like, it's your teammate, right? Like, anyone is gonna try to help their teammate go get any good teammate, in my opinion. If you see your teammate is on fire and he got like 70 points or whatever, he's trying to break a record, he's trying to break a record, obviously you're gonna go out your way to try to make it happen. But I think what shocked me the most was that Eric Spoelstra let it happen, right? Eric Spoelstra is one of the longest tenured coaches in the league, if not the longest. Actually, I think he might be the longest tenured coach now in the NBA because he's got Steve Kerr beat. It was Pop, obviously, but Pop's not coaching this year. So yeah, I think it is Spoelstra. I just didn't think that he would. The way that it went, like I'm not mad at him for letting Bam stay in to try to go get the record. But like I said, I think once it gets to a point where it's getting forced, I think that's where you got to pull the plug and like, maybe you can try another time. But I think out of respect for the game, right? Because I think that's where the disrespect was, not to Kobe or to the record or anything. Because like I said, Kobe would have wanted anyone to go and try to break the record. Records are meant to be broken. Kobe was someone who wanted to move the game forward, right? That's why he his last tweet was to LeBron when LeBron, I forgot what he did. I think he passed Kobe or something. And Kobe literally said, keep moving the game forward. That was Kobe, right? So I don't think Kobe would have been mad or feeling any type of way that Bam got passed him up, right? But I think you gotta have a bigger respect for the game, and that's why I was a little surprised that Spo let it happen the way it did, right? Because it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I can see why. But I just think, like I said, I think people are misplacing their anger. I'm seeing too many people trying to attack Bam when, like I said, a lot of people would have done the same thing if they're in Bam's shoes. If you got a chance to go break a record, no matter how it is, unless it's doing something just insanely bad or anything, you're going to do it, right? So I have no hard feelings. I have nothing against Bam. I think Bam did exactly what he should have done. And hey, now I think Bam has set the bar for all of the Kobe disciples in the league. Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, James Harden, just any player you can think of, Kyrie, anybody, like, excuse me, all of these players now y'all gotta try it at some point. Steph Curry, you gotta try it. The fact that Curry hasn't just went into a game and like, you know what, I'm putting up 53s, like, it's crazy. Curry could definitely do it. Like, if Curry just decided, he just walked into the locker room, told everybody like, hey, I'm putting up 53s in this game. However many fall, however many don't, and we living. There's nobody on Golden State that's gonna tell him otherwise. So I would like to see who's going to try to break Bam's and maybe even try to go for the Wilt record, even though I think, hey, if the Wilt record is what it is, I don't know if anyone's ever gonna get to 100. But I definitely think somebody's gonna break Bam's second place hold on it. And we'll see, man. We'll see which one of these Kobe disciples step up to the plate. Because like I said, the pressure's on y'all now, But enough on Bamonte. I just wanted to talk real quick about free agency in the NFL because it's been insane. I mean, it started with the Max Crosby. Actually, no, it really started with my Colts making Alec. I said Alec. I was going to say something crazy. Making Alec Pierce the highest paid wide receiver in free agency. I think we gave him the highest paid free agency wide receiver deal in history. But just as a Colts fan, I think a lot of people are still sleep on Alec Pierce, which is cool. I mean, like I said, I think a lot of people just don't watch Colts games, which I don't blame you at all. As a Colts fan, I do not blame you for not watching a lot of Colts games because, trust me, I suffer. Like, I put myself through hell every Sunday, and it's crazy saying that, right? But after church, the Colts take me on down through that, man, every Sunday. And I can understand, unless your team is playing the Colts, I can understand why you're not watching Colts games. Like, we're not really that exciting. But I think a lot of people do need to turn on that Pierce tape, and you'll understand why we felt the need that we needed to pay. Now, like I said, I would have rather we have paid him before the season started. I think we would have got him at a way cheaper price. And honestly, coming from the season that he had, his contract would have been a steal. Do I believe that we overpaid him? I am in that ballpark. I think we did overpay him a little bit. But at the same time, we had two other teams that were willing to pay him more. The Patriots and the 49ers were willing to give him $30 million a year. But from what Alec Pierce has been saying, he never really wanted to leave Indy, and Indy never wanted him to leave. So it made sense for, like, I look at it as this, right? I think regardless we were going to trade or cut Michael Pittman, I just think that time has run its course. And I'm a Michael Pittman guy. I love Michael Pittman. I think he's a great dude. He's a great player. He was a good leader for the Colts and everything. But I think regardless, or even if we would have found a way to bring back Michael Pittman, regardless, Alec Pierce was going to be the number one receiver for the Colts next year. That was always the plan, at least for the past 2 years. But especially after last year, the plan was for Alec Pierce to eventually take over that wide receiver one spot. Just because Michael Pittman is more of a wide receiver too, and he had been coming off a couple of injuries, it was time. But I would have liked to give him a little bit less money, just because it was one good year we're paying him off of, basically. It was a great year. He led the league in yards per reception. I think he had 1,000-yard receiving with under 50 catches, which is ridiculous. Like, he's worth the bag for sure. That big of a bag, I'm not too sure, but I'm not mad at us for giving him that money, because like I said, I believe in Alec Pierce. I believe in his ability to become the number one receiver. He's been our number one receiver, especially the past season. So, hey, pay him like one. And so that was one. And then I think the other biggest, domino was, the Max Crosby trade, or was the almost trade from the Raiders to the Ravens. And the Ravens gave up 2 first-round picks. And the Raiders were able to finally move out Max Crosby, get out that contract. But then, while Max Crosby was in Baltimore, Baltimore was still negotiating with Trey Hendrickson, and Trey Hendrickson's price eventually came down. Now, what the report is that the Ravens team doctors and all of that, they ran their own separate physical and all that on Max Crosby, and he failed. But the thing with that is that was always the discussion with Max Crosby if another team would have got him, was that he probably was going to fail his entry physical just because he's still technically not fully recovered from his injury yet, right? But it was like, regardless, whoever was going to get him, you were investing in that he will eventually get past the physical, right? Which would be hopefully before training camp and all of that. What the Ravens did was disgusting, right? Because I'm not sure how much I believe that they just gave him a physical, he failed it, and that was it, right? Especially knowing that was the risk with getting him anyway. I think once, like I said, the report was that they were talking with Trey Hendrickson as Max Crosby was in the building, just trying to kind of, they said that they tried to get both. I don't think that was really the case. I think he was just trying to tell a fib with that. I don't think that they tried to get both. But listen, you don't do that, right? Because every other team pretty much moved off of that move. And even both the Raiders and the Ravens, they were moving off of that move for like the next 2 days until the Ravens decided to rescind from the trade. But and then it makes it even more disgusting for me. I guess this is where the bias comes in as a Colts fan, because Ian said that the Colts had an offer and pretty much a deal in place with Trey Hendrickson to sign with the Colts until that happened. And it's just like, man, it sucks because it's like it just kind of messes up everyone's flow. And the Ravens were still able to win somehow in this. Like I said, they signed Trey Hendrickson. Then on top of that, they got their 2 first-round picks back. So they can do whatever with those 2 first-round picks. They could trade it for something else, or they could use them. And it's like, man, it sucks because it's literally the saying, the richer gets richer. That's exactly what happened. And it's been chaotic, man. It's been chaotic. It's been a chaotic free agency. It's been some trades. Michael Pittman going to the Steelers for a steal of a trade for the Steelers. No pun intended. But the fact that they got MPJ for only I think they gave us a 6th round pick, and we gave them a pick on top of MPJ. Like, Chris Ballard got stuffed in the locker twice. It's nothing new. But yeah, it's just been a lot going on with free agency and everything. We still got a couple more big days of signing love. So any big other moves that come about, we will cover that. Any trades or anything, we'll definitely cover that as well. But yeah, I think we are about at 25 minutes right now on the video. I think if my OBS is right. So I think we're gonna go ahead and end it here. I think I have some new content that I'm gonna start uploading on this channel. I think with it being football off season And you know, you got you got March Madness coming up, and then the NBA playoffs will be starting in a month or two. I gotta start figuring out my off-season content, and I think I know what that is, and I might go ahead and start doing it. So, yeah, just be expecting to see some content just in general on this channel. We're gonna try to just keep pushing it out. We're gonna keep grinding, and yeah, it's been Thread the Needle with your boy Marvin. Y'all already know what time it is. I appreciate all of y'all. If you made it this far, please leave a like and a comment down below. And I'll catch y'all on the flip side, man. Peace.